Welcome back to Russia Today. I'm Tamara Stuchlak, and in this segment, we're talking to the very fascinating author, filmmaker, philosopher, Galima Galiullina, and she is an expert in post-Soviet Russia, a global world, a new generation of Russian businessmen and women. Her book is Leadership in the 21st Century. It's an outlook from Russia. And you've also been over more than a 10-year period, a professor in Russia, the Institute of Economics and the Department of World and Regional Economy. So very accomplished in putting a lens on the Russia of today in a global economy and leadership. So tell us about your inspiration for your 3 books. I know you've done a documentary, but where does that creativity come from?
Mm-hmm. You know, I always been thinking about success as a lifestyle, and it was my first book about Russian first wave of business people at Urals at that time in 90s. It was very interesting time, of course, very exciting as well, but at the same time very tragic. And
why so?
Because people were suffering. You know, people were suffering, and all lifestyle which they had, it was broken. People were losing everything, and they were robbed severely by people who were taking everything what was made by millions of people, Soviet people.
The development of oligarchy.
Yeah, privatization,
Yes.
which was real robbers, made by real robbers. And at the same time, it was exciting because young people were taking responsibility what to do further. And they were taking responsibility in very heavy situations, like when they were coming to Chelyabinsk tractor plant and telling them that we know what to do. And so when I saw all these processes, being a social philosopher, it was a great opportunity for me to try to understand this, what is going on. And then
the new thinking, the change, the
yeah, because I've been sure that these people came not just to earn some money and become rich and wealthy and famous. Some of them, became rich and famous, but it was not the main goal. They were coming to save country, actually.
Their idealism.
Yeah, absolutely. And some of them were so bright. You know, every interview which I've been making with them was like...
That you put in your books, that were part of your books.
Yes, they are all in my book. And after each interview, after meeting with these leaders, I've been flying because it was so huge dose of adrenaline. They were so bright and so energizing. And I still remember this time. And a very interesting moment that after...
This sparked your interest in writing more and your creativity.
Absolutely. Yes. When I published 2 books, first was Success is a Lifestyle, and this about leadership. Ural companies began to invite me for consulting job. It was so exciting because I'll tell you honestly that it was my dream that one day I'll sit at the main place near the big table, and directors will sit around and I'll talk with them about very important things. So that's happened. I made one seminar with them, round table, about global leadership for Ural companies, for example. And all these owners of big companies, successful companies, were sitting around the table and we were talking about
So you shared with them and more of your 10 commandments.
Absolutely.
So tell us about what you said to them about individual style, humanity.
Individual style, some of them were already talking about that because they realized that when globalization coming to business, to country, big companies, they make things which lost already individual features. So a chance to win in competition with them, to create something which not like this.
Not mass-produced.
Yes, absolutely.
To catch
it must be
consumers'
diversity.
imagination.
It must be diversity. And if you are able to make something different, and it's connected with your core competence, with talent which you bring in this business, talent to make something very different.
And you have a very unique story about cooperation between Russian and American companies?
Yeah, exactly. You know, the first very successful cooperation was in 30s when engineers from Chelyabinsk came here to America just to learn and to make together a project of Chelyabinsk tractor plant. And they made this project in 3 months. And they included the experience of the best American automobile companies like Buick, Ford, and others. And they made this plant in, I think, in 3 years. Can you imagine? It's just unbelievable. They were so excited with all these perspectives to make Russia industrialized country. And then the second wave of this cooperation was already in the 90s when American business people were coming to Russia and to Urals as well. By the way, Urals were behind the double Iron Curtain. For example, Chelyabinsk was closed for foreigners. Nobody was able to come to Chelyabinsk from other country because too many secret plans, too many secret knowledge. Technologies. And when Americans came, of course, they were interested to make business. And what they did, for example, we have now very successful joint project, real process of cooperation between American company EMERSON Process Management and Russian company, Chelyabinsk company, METRAN. Together, they're working, producing equipment for measurements for oil and gas industry. Can you imagine this?
New technologies.
Yeah, it's using new technologies, of course. And Emerson decided, using great engineering talent of people in Chelyabinsk, they organized global engineering center there. They have 3 global engineering centers all over the world, this company. And one of them in Chelyabinsk. And they were absolutely right, because be honest, Russian engineers, they are just the best in the world. And they're using this as an opportunity for American business. And
So tell us about, there's an ancient site that you have, and I'm changing the subject dramatically. There's an ancient site that you traveled to recently that is a mysterious place and has some unique energy properties. And you went there because, for what reason?
You know, Arkaim is a place where even Putin was traveling because, and I think this is why he can do now everything, everywhere. It's mysterious place. First of all, it's a place where 8,000 years civilization was beginning. Metallurgy, astronomy, they already had this. And you can see this now at this place because they discovered
site of this ancient civilization.
Yeah, yes. And they were Aryans, these people. And then they traveled to Western Europe and further to India as well. And this is a mysterious place because some places are even not available for public. They closed. It's not possible to go there because something very strange there is going on.
And what's strange?
People sure that it's center of power. Center of power in Russian is места силы, place where something very powerful coming out from the earth, from underground maybe. And people who...
Do you feel differently? Did you feel differently when you were there?
Yeah.
In what way?
It's amazing. You feel that you...
High energy, euphoric?
No, it's not. You feel yourself like you melting in this atmosphere of steppe. It's a steppe there. And you become part of all this landschaft. You become part of this even ancient time, because you becoming part of centuries which already passed all this.
This is fascinating.
Yeah, and people who are able to see the future, they open their abilities absolutely there.
Were you finding Western travelers learning about this ancient site and wanting to visit there?
Yes, I met people from Austria.
Wow.
And one of them said that, you know, when I traveled to Arkaim, I realized that here is beginning at the point of never returning back. So he...
Do people call it a portal?
Maybe, yeah. He says that we came back, we came to Arkaim just to see where our roots, because they are Aryans, so they decided that Arkaim exactly the place where their roots.
So as we're coming to a close and we just have just a little bit of time, what else would you like to share about your very full global aspects on Russia?
You know, I want to express very deep feeling of about Russia, that it's country which America need as a balance, because when America has no balance, they're losing borders, and what is going on we see now, because it's not very good situation when everybody think about the war with Russia. It's crazy. Russia doesn't war at all. We know what doesn't mean war, because we lost 30 million people in this last war, in World War II. Can you imagine 30 million people?
No.
Who wants after that war? Nobody. Even Putin doesn't want war.
Thank you for being with us and sharing these very important perspectives.
Thank you,
so
Tamara.
much.
Thank you.
Thank you.